What this toddler had been whispering to the dog every night was not imagination. It was a warning. Mom hears her toddler whispering to the dog at midnight. At first, she thinks it's cute until she hears one sentence clearly. "Baxter, don't let him in again." The dog suddenly stiffens and growls toward the bedroom door. Something moves in the hallway. Mum freezes, gripping her toddler. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more incredible true stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is the story of Emily Chen, a single mother trying to rebuild her life. After a difficult divorce, she moved into a quiet suburban home with her 3-year-old daughter Lily and their 10-year-old golden retriever, Baxter. Emily was exhausted. Between her job as a dental hygienist and taking care of Lily alone, sleep was a luxury she rarely enjoyed. But at least they had Baxter. That old dog had been with them through everything. It started with something innocent enough. Lily began whispering to Baxter every night before bed. Emily would peek into the room and see her daughter's face pressed close to the dog's fur, her little mouth moving with secrets only he could hear. "What are you telling Baxter, sweetie?" Emily asked one evening. Lily looked up with those big brown eyes. "He understands me, Mummy. He listens." Emily smiled. It was adorable. Kids and their imaginations. But then Baxter started sleeping directly outside Lily's door. Every single night, he'd plant himself on the hardwood floor, his grey muzzle resting on his paws like a sentinel standing guard. And every night, between 2 and 3 in the morning, Emily would hear it. The creak of the floorboards, Baxter's tags jingling. She'd open her eyes to see him in the hallway, his head lifted, his body tense. He'd growl, low and deep. Then he'd walk to the living room window and stare outside into the darkness. Emily told herself it was nothing, old house noises, maybe a raccoon or a stray cat. They'd just moved in. Everything was new. Baxter was probably just adjusting. But deep down, something felt wrong. 2 weeks later, Emily was brushing her teeth when she heard it. Lily's voice, soft and urgent, drifting from her bedroom. She turned off the water and listened. "Don't worry, Baxter. I won't let him come in." Emily's hand froze on the faucet. "He can't touch Mummy tonight." A chill ran down her spine. She walked to Lily's door and pressed her ear against it. "You're the only one who sees him," Lily whispered. Emily pushed the door open gently. Lily was sitting up in bed, her small hands buried in Baxter's fur. The dog's eyes were fixed on the window. "Lily, honey, what are you talking about?" Emily tried to keep her voice calm. Lily turned her face serious in the night light's glow. "The man in the dark jacket, Mummy. He tries to open my window, but Baxter scares him away." Emily's heart pounded. What man? "The one who comes at night." Emily knelt beside the bed. "Sweetheart, that's just a dream. There's no man. You're safe." But even as she said it, she noticed Baxter hadn't moved. His eyes were still locked on that window. Over the next few days, Baxter's behavior became more intense. He wouldn't let Lily sleep alone. He growled at windows throughout the house. He scratched at the back door, pacing frantically. His entire focus had shifted to protection mode. Emily started to wonder if maybe there was a wild animal in the yard. A fox, maybe? Or a coyote? That would explain Baxter's anxiety. She checked the yard during the day. Nothing. No tracks, no signs of disturbance. Just her imagination running wild because of a toddler's nightmares, right? Then came the night that changed everything. Emily woke up at 2:47 a.m. The house was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. She got up to use the bathroom and noticed Lily's door was cracked open. She heard Lily's voice, whispering, "He tried the door again, Baxter, but don't bark yet. Mummy will wake up." Emily's blood turned to ice. She crept to the door and looked inside. Lily was sitting up, her hand on Baxter's head. The dog was rigid, his ears flat against his skull, a low rumble vibrating in his chest. Emily pushed the door open. "Lily?" Lily jumped. "Mummy, I didn't mean to wake you. Who tried the door, baby?" "The man." But Baxter stopped him. Emily's hands trembled as she checked the bedroom door. Locked. She checked the window. Locked. She looked outside into the darkness. Nothing. Or so she thought. The next morning, Emily couldn't shake the feeling. She'd installed a simple outdoor security camera when they first moved in, mostly to watch for package deliveries. She'd barely looked at the footage since. Now, sitting at her kitchen table with cold coffee, she opened the app on her phone. She scrolled back to the previous night, 3 a.m. She pressed play. The infrared footage showed her backyard, dark and grainy. For a moment, nothing moved. Then she saw it. A figure. Behind the oak tree at the edge of the yard, standing completely still. Emily's breath caught. She watched as the figure moved forward, slowly, deliberately, toward the back of the house, toward Lily's window. The figure reached the window, stood there for several seconds, then reached out. That's when Baxter's barking erupted on the audio feed. The figure jerked back and disappeared into the shadows. Emily dropped her phone. Her hands shaking, she picked it up again and scrolled back further. The night before, and the night before that. The same figure, the same time, the same approach. Multiple nights, multiple attempts. Each time, Baxter's barking drove the figure away. Emily felt like she was going to be sick. That night, she pretended everything was normal. She gave Lily a bath, read her a bedtime story, tucked her in. Baxter took his usual position by the door, but Emily didn't go to bed. She sat in the hallway, her back against the wall, her phone in her hand ready to call 911. And she waited. At 2:53 a.m., she heard it. Lily's whisper. "Baxter, if he comes again, growl loud. Protect Mummy. He wants to take me." Emily's heart shattered and ignited at the same time. She stood up and quietly opened Lily's door. Lily was sitting up, clutching her stuffed rabbit, tears streaming down her face. Baxter was on his feet, his body between Lily and the window, his teeth bared. "Lily, come here," Emily whispered. That's when she heard it, a soft, scraping sound. Outside the window, Emily grabbed Lily and pulled her close. She walked to the window and yanked the blinds up. A man stood in her backyard. Dark jacket, hood pulled up. He was holding something in his hand, pressed against the window frame. Their eyes met. Emily screamed. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911 while pulling Lily out of the room. Baxter stayed behind, barking ferociously at the window. 911, what's your emergency? There's a man trying to break into my house. He's at my daughter's window. Please send someone now." Emily gave her address, locked herself and Lily in the bathroom, and held her daughter tight while Baxter's barking echoed through the house. The police arrived in 4 minutes. It felt like 4 hours. When the officers cleared the house and yard, they found footprints beneath Lily's window, fresh tool marks on the window frame, signs of multiple attempted entries. Officer Martinez stood in Emily's living room, his expression grim. "Ma'am, we've been tracking a series of attempted break-ins in this neighborhood. Your dog may have prevented something very serious from happening, multiple times." Emily looked at Baxter, who was lying next to Lily on the couch, his head in her lap. "We'll increase patrols in the area," Officer Martinez continued. "We got a good look at him tonight. We'll find him." After the police left, Emily sat on the floor next to Baxter. She put her arms around his neck. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry I didn't listen. I'm so sorry I didn't believe." Baxter licked her face. Lily crawled down from the couch and hugged them both. "It's okay, Mummy. Baxter promised he'd protect us." He kept his promise. In the days that followed, Emily installed new locks on every door and window. She added motion sensor lights around the entire property. She upgraded her security system. She reinforced the windows with special locks recommended by the police. But the most important thing she did was trust. Trust Lily's voice. Trust Baxter's instincts. Trust that sometimes the warnings we need come in forms we don't expect. The police caught the man 3 days later trying to enter another home 2 streets over. He was wanted in connection with multiple break-ins and worse, much worse. Every night now, Baxter still sleeps curled up beside Lily's bed. And every night, Emily stands at the door watching them, her heart full of gratitude for the guardian angel with 4 legs and a grey muzzle. Sometimes the guardians we need most don't speak our language, but they speak to our hearts. And sometimes the smallest voices, like a toddler's whisper, carry the biggest truths. The truth that saved their lives was spoken every night in the darkness between a little girl and her dog. A promise of protection, a warning of danger, a bond that transcended words. Emily learned that night that mothers aren't the only ones who protect their children. Sometimes the protectors have fur and tails and hearts bigger than we ever imagined. Baxter is 12 now. He moves slower. His muzzle is completely grey. But every night, without fail, he takes his position beside Lily's bed, standing guard, keeping watch, keeping his promise. And Emily sleeps better knowing that the whispers in the night aren't just imagination. They're love, they're protection, they're family. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more incredible true stories. And if you have a pet who's ever protected you, share your story in the comments below.